Greetings, my friends. I want to thank you all for subscribing. I want to thank all of my channel members for supporting me in this endeavor to save pop culture. And if you are not subscribed, please consider supporting this channel. We need you. Thank you. Greetings, my friends. I am Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, broadcasting from my hidden base at the center of the Earth. And I am here today because I've noticed a recent trend in the mainstream media of taking swipes at Disney. This didn't used to happen, my friends. Disney is very powerful, or has been very powerful traditionally. With all of their acquisitions, a mainstream critic can have their access cut off. And when that happens, that means for all of Disney and Fox properties, including Star Wars, Marvel, ABC, Lucasfilm, hell, even ESPN. And yet, there seems to have been a shift of late. Mainstream media outlets have become emboldened to publish critical articles expressing skepticism about Disney's business models and results, about the culture inside Disney, Disney's stock struggles, the general direction of the company, all under scrutiny all of a sudden. What is responsible for this shift, one must wonder? I have been sent rumors that major Disney investors have been expressing discontent with Disney's performance and handling of their IPs, looking to the success of non-woke projects like Inside Out 2 and Deadpool and Wolverine, and saying, "Please, sir, can we have some more?" Similarly, there seems to be Disney insiders of some significance who are likewise discontent with the direction of the company. And it seems to me these various factions may be covertly encouraging the Festivus-like airing of grievances in these mainstream media stories, which could well be pushback, a reflection of a kind of Cold War inside the company between those who care about ideology and those who care about profit. There was, for example, a very eye-opening article in Business Insider that must have made those in Disney's C-suite wince in pain, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But to support my thesis that Disney critical stories are multiplying of late in major outlets, check out this Rolling Stone story titled, "How Disney Stumbled." After many paragraphs establishing their bona fides as massive Disney fans who believe it's the bestest company ever, even being down with all the social justice crap that we despise, this lengthy article then takes a sudden turn and basically winds up agreeing with us. Quote, "For the past few years, however, there has been a distinct sense that Disney has been slipping in its ability to consistently provide consumers its trademark magic. Through 2023, the company's centennial was projected to be a banner year. Its last animated feature, Wish, was a box office flop, as was Pixar's Elemental. Its Marvel entries, The Marvels and Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, fared little better. In May 2024, CEO Bob Iger revealed at an investor conference that Disney Plus, the company's streaming service that launched in 2019, was operating at a $4 billion loss, largely due to what he deemed an emphasis on volume and not quality, according to The Hollywood Reporter. Even the parks division, typically the most profitable of Disney's verticals, is flailing, with operating profit declining 3% last quarter due to what CFO Hugh F. Johnston referred to as moderation of consumer demand. Share prices have plummeted. Overall, however, there is a distinct sense among almost everyone I spoke with that over the course of the past few decades, by a series of decisions motivated by an amalgam of greed and complacency, Disney is in serious danger of losing its position as a cultural juggernaut. Disney's never hidden the fact they're all about your money, one former mid-level corporate employee told me, but they've also provided high-value entertainment, high-value experiences. Now, I would say the company has pivoted to nickel and diming, and they are not providing high-quality entertainment and experiences in the same way. Disney did not respond to requests for interview or comment. Well, shit, that's no surprise to me. These conversations painted a portrait of a corporation on autopilot and operating under the assumption that it is simply too big to fail. These sources contend that while this may have been true for Disney at one point, the company has squandered enough goodwill among its consumers that it no longer is. There is a sense that if the company is not careful and they don't adjust their course, that there is a point where people won't see them as the leader anymore, says one former employee. They also were reflective of a company that is dismissive toward, if not outright contemptuous of, its most loyal fans. According to two former corporate employees, the company eschews hiring what one referred to as super fans, viewing a love for the brand as a huge turnoff. To me, it feels counterintuitive, because I feel like you'd want to hire the people who know the brand best so they can protect it, the person said. Some of your biggest advocates are going to be these people. Fans of the parks in particular have expressed mounting frustration with rising ticket prices, the elimination of various amenities, and the perceived decrease in quality of the overall experience, unquote.
Yeah, this is exactly what we've been saying, especially the point where they're talking about they won't hire fans.
That's right, Harvey Cthulhu. It's not just Star Wars fans that they won't hire, not just Marvel fans they won't hire Disney fans. What kind of madness is this? It's insane, and it's been what we've been saying for these last 7 or 8 years. It's just incredible to see the mainstream media aligning with us on this stuff. And that comment about the perceived decrease in quality of the overall experience segues nicely into a Business Insider article that really sticks it to the mouse where it hurts most. Essentially, in as friendly and objective a way as possible, this article hammers home one point. Universal is beating out Disney in terms of value and fun. In an article titled, "My Family of 6 Spent Full Days at Disney for $2,677 and Universal for $1,190. The latter was better in some huge ways." And here are the bullet points for that article that I think speak volumes. Quote, "My family of 6 spent $2,677 for a day at Disneyland and $1,990 for a day at Universal Studios. The entertainment and line-skipping passes at Universal were incredible for our family. We were able to go on every ride at Universal, which was also a huge perk." Again, in keeping with my personal theory that these articles are coming from critics inside Disney that are trying to send a distress call and a wake-up call to their own higher-ups, this article stresses that Disneyland was fun and had lots of good things to say about Disney, but then essentially points out all the ways that Universal was a vastly better deal and a lot more fun for their family. Quote, "I prefer Disney's rides because I think Universal leans a bit too heavily on virtual and 3D elements, but at least I got to experience everything Universal had to offer in one day, which is more than I can say for Disney. Disney's line skipping service didn't work as we expected it to. Called Genie Plus while we were there, but since renamed Lightning Lane Multipass, the service is supposed to allow guests to skip the lines or at least stand in lightning quick ride queues. Instead, we could only use the service on 3 premium attractions all day, and we still had to wait at least 30 minutes before enjoying them. In contrast, Universal's Express Pass let us walk right to the front of every ride we went to. We didn't even have to make a difficult-to-nab reservation in advance, which Disney requires guests to do throughout each day on its in-park app. We never waited longer than 5 minutes to get on any of Universal's attractions, not even popular ones like Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. With our passes, we were able to experience every attraction at Universal in one day with a couple of hours to spare. Our Universal line-skipping passes had a steeper price tag at $600 compared to the $180 we paid for Disney's equivalent service. Even so, our Universal tickets still cost about $200 less than the Disney ones," unquote.
Yeah, that article seems to me was very objective, Doomcock. It pointed out Disney had some great dining experiences. The rides overall were fun and not virtual like a lot of rides at Universal, except for the Waterworld show at Universal, which they said blew away anything Disney had. But the cost versus how many rides you can ride and wait times ratio is, to my way of thinking, the biggest deal. You go to a theme park to ride the damn rides. That's the bottom line.
No doubt, Harvey Cthulhu, you're right. On the money, at least in terms of my opinion. Folks, there's a shift inside the mainstream media. Forbes just did an expose on the obscene amount of money Star Wars The Force Awakens cost, which really does make me believe that Disney hasn't made much, if any, money on their massive Star Wars purchase because of the extreme expense of the movies that are making the high grosses, or used to back in the day. But the main point here is the mainstream media is starting to align in many ways with what we've been saying for the last 7 years. Disney has gotten out of touch with their customer base, and there's nothing magic about that. In conclusion, at one point the Rolling Stone article states the following, quote, "One source I spoke with likened the company to a toxic ex-boyfriend who you always come back to against your better judgment. Another person to a high school mean girl. Now they say the brand is facing the consequences. People are revolting against Disney," one former executive said. "They are sick of the bully in the room." My friends, I'd love to know who that source was. It tends to suggest that these articles are distress flares sent up by allies behind enemy lines, inside Disney or Disney adjacent, who are as dismayed as we are about what has happened to their beloved company and Walt Disney's legacy. Disneyland used to be called the happiest place on earth, but now Universal is snatching that crown right off their heads, because there's nothing fun about political divisiveness and taking sides in a vicious culture war that most of us take vacations to get away from. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry. Ha 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 ha.